welcome to EVE Online. I'm Major Freak. So, it's been many a moon since I did any missions, and I'm a bit rusty as to the mechanics of it, but for our purposes, Actually, I forgot the reason why I started doing this search for missions. Well, as an industrialist, you'll want to get your faction. I believe it's your corporate standing up with a certain corp in order to use the reprocessing center there at a discount. It lowers your taxes, or it lowers the amount of wastage you get. I forget, actually. It's been a while since I reprocessed as well. And getting locate agents is helpful for intel reasons against players, There's not much else. There used to be a way to get jump clones if you had high enough standings with a corp, and the ability to plant player-owned stations in HiSec, I think. I forget the actual mechanics around that. It's irrelevant anymore. But there are less and less reasons to get standings, but the two big ones are for reprocessing and locate agents. The locate agents go by Empire standings, because as long as you can access the agent, you can locate. As far as reprocessing, I believe you need corporate standings. I would not recommend you go for R&D agents. I did back in the day, way back in the day, when they still have lotteries, right? For the Tech 2 BPOs. They obviously don't have that anymore. That's long past. So, and the passive income from database sales, if you do still use, like, Jesus, I haven't done this for 2 years. It's just, after 2 years, if you have 6 clients, you'll get 6 characters with R&D agents, pretty high level. You'll get a total after 2 years of 2 billion for 2 years. Yeah, it's not worth your time simply to go for, like, Cartham agents. I went for a lot of Cartham agents, and yeah, it's just not. In the end, it's literally not worth it at all. It's peanuts, So don't force yourself into, I want to get R&D agents, I want to do this. No, don't. The aim of missions is to enjoy the scenery. My goals are to find a station that's aesthetically pleasing, pretty cool planet, hopefully a terrestrial planet that it's next to the station. Hopefully I can find a cluster of security agents, at least 2 of level 2, 3, 2 and 3 I'm looking for. I'm not really looking for level 4. It's nice, but once you get to level 4, I'll work on it. But at least 2 agents of at least level 2. Level 1's a joke. You can get level 2 access so easy with the connection skill, and a little bit of missioning, if. So a good looking environment for the station. At least 2 agents, and hopefully a storyline mission in the same station. So that's already a tall order right there. And then I want small systems. Like, I'm not going to go for recommend anything that has surrounding or itself like 50 AU plus distance to travel. It's like, nope, you've got a lot of missions to do. The last thing you want to do is be stuck in warp all the time. So those are 4 criteria I'll be doing. I'm actually quite surprised that when looking for that combo, that I only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 systems that had the annoying lots of security agents and lots of stations. I'm like, oh Christ! So I took a video of each system that happened, and I was surprised there was only 7, and I went out 12 jumps from a certain system in HiSec, in every direction, like 12 jumps in every direction, and only 7 systems with the annoying habit of lots of stations and lots of agents, security agents. Now I'll be doing mining agents next, and I'll do the whole. I use the my scouting route for each character for searching for fobs, and this will go through every single system. And I've set it for the current system, and I'll go through and painstakingly work up another list of mining agents, and then once I've got screenshots of the ones that don't need videos, right? And there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then add on the 7, so 22 likely prospects for mission hub recommendations for security agents between the level of 2 and 4. And hopefully we can get a decent smattering and at least one very good hub that has all those criteria, that have at least 2 agents of level 2 and above, at least one very nearby storyline agent, preferably in the same station, very aesthetic planet that you're flying up to, because it would be nice to have that aesthetic, and 4 not incredibly long. Like, this would be ridiculous to expect. Like, I'm not gonna recommend a system that you're warping at least 52 back and forth, and multiple systems. Like, if there's only one system that's that big, okay, but nothing is going to combine more than 100 AU between adjacent systems. I'm just not going to accept large system diameters at all for this. It's just, why waste your time, right? Ideally, it would be like I could find, like near Shanoon, the Cosmos area. There's like a bunch of systems that are interconnected really closely, and that would really help with missions, because I'm assuming that the vast majority of the systems picked to go to would be close by. I forget how the mechanics work for missions when you get into the higher levels and how far you have to go to complete them. It's been so long. You'll have to forgive me for not being up to snuff on that. I used to be pretty good. It was, just off by heart. I'd know, if it was the next constellation or a system. Like, I know that I wanted to find a way of gaming the system so that you don't have to travel for an incredible long distance just to complete a mission. And so that's one of my other goals, but it's been a long time, and I really don't want to get into missions again. I've got access to locate agents of level 4, so I'm done with missions basically. But in the interest of helping out noobs, and you and I know that you've searched for stuff like this, and there's nothing. There's the best you can get is this 2008 edited from a 2004 forum post about mission hubs, and this is what you get. This is what you're treated with. There is it was edited a wee bit to include a more decent, like, the stuff. It's quite decent, but it's very curated and very truncated. And yeah, there's a lot of, like, when you actually dive into it, like I did, I went to all these systems that were recommended, and they were like tens of freaking jumps from a major hub. It was isolated, and most of them were in high sec islands surrounded by low sec. And I'm like, yeah, I was like, yeah, this is, I kind of got a really spider tingling sense about these recommendations. I'm like, So yeah, you're talking about over a decade of misinformation that's being put out there that, was well-meaning at the time, but at the same time, there were edits and additions that you kind of had suspect on. So yeah, since it's never actually been tackled, I'm gonna do it. I'm like, screw it. I've got this great scouting system for fobs. I can use this to find mission hubs for noobs and go, hey, you can go here, and it's clustered. It's small systems. It's aesthetic, and the security agents. And if you want mining, here's that. And nobody's actually ever done that. Nobody's ever done like a character creation video that wasn't fast forward, like speed of ×4, and most of those are either I've got the best character creation, and it's just like music in the background, no microphone, and it's just fast paced, and you're like, well, I didn't learn anything, what the hell. So I made one of those. I made multiple of those actually, but I've never actually sat down and gone, here are the mission hubs, because nobody else has done them. And when you're new, you think, oh, somebody's gonna post a how-to video, right, on YouTube. It's just gotta happen, right? It's never freaking happened. So I figured, if you're gonna get it done, do it yourself. And I'd like to do it for noobs, because how the hell is a noob gonna sit down and go through hundreds of systems patiently, knowing what to look for, knowing what he needs, knowing what the mechanics are behind what he's looking for? Like, how do you even know the answers when you don't even know the questions? So yeah, that's my goal. I'll do, once I've got the mining, the agents done, I'll collate it all and make a big video about, okay, I've found these systems for security and mining, and these are the reasons, this is a criteria. I'll repeat the criteria and go, these are the systems that closely matched, as close as possible to these criteria. Here you go. This is like within 12 jumps of Shuria, and which is close enough to MR, and have at it. And I probably won't do it for any other area of space, but once somebody explains how they did something, you teach them how to fish. It's like, here it is. Does this really work for you? I mean, this is how I did it. This is how I went about it. And you too can try it for areas I'm just basically not going to do, because, and most people don't post it because it's pretty much, you just find a level 3 and just grind. It's just grinding, and people are just used to grinding in games, and they don't really think about, hey, I want to have an aesthetic time about it. I want to enjoy it as much as I can. And most people just painfully grind through stuff. Don't tell anybody how they did it, because it's, it's mostly just whatever, because it's just a game. And then they get to level 4s, and everybody knows where the meta level 4s are, like Apanake for SOE, Kellen, which is really close to Jita, for Caldari Navy, I think. Matsu, I believe, is another one. There's just a ton of level 4 areas where you're just happy, whatever. If you get 2 level 4 mission agents in a system, level 4, you're happy. I think that's the same thing with Abenaki too. But yeah, that's my goal, to introduce you to a way that's fun and enjoyable. And oh right, that's the reason I started this, finding the mission hubs. It wasn't for missioning per se, but for industry people who are trying to get into industry to know where are the hubs, where are the hubs around my area that I can try to sell stuff at, which is unfortunately not, now that I've gone through and, well, hopefully when I do this and I find the hubs, I can go, there's a good enough hub out here, far enough away from Market Hub. Well, it's not going to be more than 10 jumps from Amar, but it could be. But if I find one that's good and workable, and it's far from Amar, an industry noob might consider selling some easy to make blueprints that only take high sec ore. That would be enjoyable. Most people, well, like a noob will go out there and lose their ship, and it's like, oh man, I gotta go all the way, what do I got? And they'll see something nearby, and then they'll see, the other stuff you're selling, because you're gonna sell a frigate, you know how it's fit, so you're gonna, okay, definitely get a damage control in there. I'm pretty sure damage control takes more than just it has to, right? Obviously. The basic high sec or mineral stuff, damage control 1 blueprint. Oh, look at that, it doesn't. That's awesome. So yeah, you'll be able to sell damage control to the noob, and they'll be, oh, what's this? And they might not actually know about the really cool benefits of a damage control yet. Nobody wants to be a noob for long, right? But this game is just so brutal. I'm a noob every day. I learn stuff. Every freaking day I learn something new in Eve. And I feel like a noob because I've probably forgotten it. But yeah, there's enough new stuff that there's always a learning experience to be had. Yeah, that's really cool. Anyways, yeah, that's my next long-term project, to find all the blueprints that just need titanium, pyrite, and mexilon, period, in their makeup, and just talk about all of them. Just make a video and go, here are all the blueprints that you can build with high sec ore. Yeah, that would that'd be a nice introduction for industry noobs to get into it without the condescending videos about, and we've all seen them, like, yeah, well, I could tell you what it is that you could build, but then, next week it's going to get saturated in market, and I really don't want to do that because that would waste your time, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you didn't even give a Frinkles, you gave a couple examples of, oh, look how cool I am, look how many blueprints I have, and it's like, well, that doesn't help anybody. It's like, you're starting out, and you're expecting people to go to the elite level of building shacks. It's like, shove it up your ass. It's like, don't be so condescending. Oh, noob bros. It's like, shut up. They're noobs. They don't want to be noobs. All right? So yeah, find that list. I'll make the video. And, hardly anybody watches my channel, but the few do, it could benefit you because, just because I'm 16 plus years into the game veteran doesn't mean everybody who watches my channel is of the same caliber, right? Everybody starts out as a noob sometime, and it's interesting. I don't even know all this stuff I'm doing. I'm having to discover this. It's like I've been flying around this area of space, and I don't know where all the mission hubs are, and you know, people really don't, they have their little area and they're happy with it. And that's fine. But what if you could, because, you know, noobs don't know the area at all and they don't know the blueprints at all. So if you introduce it to them in a way that's palatable and easily consumable and they can start practicing it right away, that's a way to really get the noobs in and get them to be retained, because otherwise, you know, they'll just, yeah, this game's not for me, and see ya. Hopefully in time to get a refund off of Steam, but probably not. Yeah, this game is a lifestyle. But yeah, CCP will lose out on, and it's mostly alpha accounts, so good on them for trying alpha first, you know? Can this be done with alpha accounts? Hell yeah, sure. You can only go so far with an alpha account, but damn, you could have some fun. Or at least, you know, what this game passes for fun if they want to have their, if they want to be an industrialist in space, there's a potential to use the mechanics of this game to feel like you're doing that. Now, CCP gets the wrong idea that people want to play the games the way CCP intended, but it's like, nobody does that. Nobody goes in the game going, I want to play exactly how the developers intended, because we've all got a different concept of what a space simulator game is. So yeah. Anyways, I blabbed on too long. I covered everything, I think. Yeah, so that's my aim. That's my aim on getting all this done for you guys. Yeah, but it's I'll go to each one, I'll check them out. I'll also when I check them out, I'll be going, originally when I do this search for the security then the mining, I'll go current system, but when I check out each of those systems, I'll spread out and go, how many actually agents are there in this area, and how many storyline agents are there in the area. And the last criteria, which would be cool, would be to have all 4 different, like what I, for myself, and I think for more advanced players, really wanting to take advantage of the level 4 stuff, and they're getting into negative standings with it. It's kind of hard not to with other factions. It would be nice to have one hub for each of the factions in this area that I'm in, that I'm living in right now. And that would be cool, because you could balance out the standings loss on each one without having to go a long distance to find that particular faction's stations. Get it? So yeah, I'm sure some veterans are like, yeah, that would be a good idea. Because sometimes you can't enter another faction space because you've been doing one faction's combat missions for too long. But anyways, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Hopefully I can complete all that without getting distracted by something else. Or God forbid CCP puts out another video and I get enraged about that one, because this all started when watching their this Swiss cheese industry academy video. Lol.